And so Vivica is, correct me if I'm wrong, Forbes' top 10 most influential women in social media. Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Forbes' top 50 most influential people in social media. LinkedIn contributor to Marketing Pros, or profs.com. PR Week Masterclass with online marketing chefs from Ford Motor Company and Dell Computers. Creator and moderator of LinkedIn Chat. So it's like, did you create that? LinkedIn
Yeah.
on Tuesday night. Okay, so
Tonight.
yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing. So I sincerely appreciate you being here and sharing your knowledge and wisdom and everything that you're helping many, many different businesses and all kinds. So like if we mainly have real estate agents and loan officers on the call today. And so I'm going to let you kind of take over. I have my notepad here. I'm going to be taking.
Okay.
And I, again, thank you so much for being here. And let's do this.
Cool. And, you know, I actually put this up on SlideShare so y'all can download it later. So do take furious notes, but just know that I'm going to get you a copy of this too.
Awesome.
It's just FYI. So, yeah, so we're here to talk about how to use LinkedIn to build your real estate business. Whether you're a broker or realtor, you know, if it has to do with buying and selling houses, let's talk about it today. And we've already covered this. You know, it's funny. I got the name LinkedIn Expert literally because I got the name LinkedIn Expert. It was available on Twitter and it was available on LinkedIn. I missed it on Facebook.
Wow.
So when people say, well, what makes you the LinkedIn Expert? I say, well, I got the name first. You know, plus all the stuff that Scott just said about me. So here's the thing. If you're going to be an expert in something or if you're going to call yourself an expert, I guarantee you will spend the rest of your life trying to prove it's true. So just be aware of that.
Ooh, okay. All right.
But what we're going to cover today on LinkedIn is, you know, why should I be using LinkedIn anyway? So we're going to give a little bit of a LinkedIn introduction for those of you who aren't using it yet or who've kind of, you're on it, but you're like, I don't understand what this thing is. So we'll give a slight introduction. Then we're going to move into growing your network so that you can see and be seen on LinkedIn, as well as strategies and tools for reaching out to new prospects, including potential clients. I don't know why I have employers in there. Potential clients, partners, referral partners, you know, and certainly folks who want to buy real estate from you or use your services, your brokering services, as well as some inbound marketing strategies so that these businesses and clients come to you. So a little bit about LinkedIn. Well, I rounded up. There's 187,000, or I'm sorry, 187 million users on LinkedIn. I'm sure by, you know, now there's probably 189 million, so I rounded up. But there's a lot of people. Now, of course, it's not nearly as big as Facebook, and it's not nearly as big as Twitter, but we're talking businesses here. So we're talking the individuals who are going to use your services, especially for those of you who do corporate real estate. So we're talking about the people who are going to buy their buildings, who are going to lease their space through you. So it's a good place to be. There are 3 million, almost 3 million company profiles on LinkedIn. This jumped radically when LinkedIn introduced the new company page setup as well as the targeted updates. Up until 4 or 5 months ago, the company profiles were simply brochures online. But now the company profiles, they're not as autonomous as your personal professional profile on LinkedIn, but they are able to attract followers and communicate with followers. So we're going to take a quick look at those. Could do a whole presentation on company profiles themselves, but wanted to hit the personal side of things first. But just be aware that is growing like crazy, so get on it now. All right. There's approximately 2 new members joining LinkedIn every second. More than half are outside the U.S. In fact, I think there's only 40 or 50 million LinkedIn users within the U.S. But still, if you can't, you know, sell a house with 50 million potential prospects, probably shouldn't be in this business anyway. But here's the thing. When I did a LinkedIn search for real estate professionals, only 800,000 people showed up. So 40 million people in the U.S., only 190 million people in total. When I did a search for real estate professionals, only 800,000 showed up. So it's actually a great time to get involved in LinkedIn because you don't have a lot of competition yet.
So Vivica, go back just one quick second. So when you say company profile, is that similar to Facebook pages like business? Is that kind of similar?
Exactly, and I'll show you what that is, but yeah, that's exactly right. So like on Facebook, you have to have your personal profile before you create a company page. Right. Same thing on LinkedIn. You have to have your personal profile, and then you can create a company page. Okay. You create it under the company tab. I'll show you that.
Got it, cool.
But they're not as autonomous as Facebook. I want to be really clear on that. It's harder to interact with individuals through your company profile, but you can post updates. And what's really cool about the company profiles on LinkedIn is you can get statistics for those updates. You can also target specific locations or industries with the company page update. You can't do that on your personal profile, but you can on the company page update. So again, it's worth looking into. Maybe we'll do another presentation on company pages a little later.
Love to have you back.
Beyond what I'm going to show you today.
Okay.
So who uses LinkedIn? Well, the member has average years of experience of 15 years. So these are not newbies. You know, these are established individuals. They might be established individuals looking for work, but they are established individuals. The average age is 41 years old, so, you know, they're old enough to buy a house. 47% are decision makers, which is really great. Yeah. So you have an almost 50% chance when you find someone on LinkedIn of them saying, yes, I will, you know, I need someone to help me find a house, or yes, I can be the yes person when it comes to looking at space, corporate space. So it's a nice number. And the average income is $109,000. So these are people who can afford to buy property for the most part.
Yeah.
Now, why would you want to be on LinkedIn? Why be on LinkedIn? I mean, you know, Facebook's got 1 billion people on it. Why would it be on LinkedIn? Well, a couple reasons. First of all, of course, it's business focused. So yeah, those 1 billion people on LinkedIn, how many are kids? How many are, you know, sharing pictures of their grandchildren? How many people are actually there for business? It's a smaller amount, needless to say. But LinkedIn has a search engine that works. I mean, its advanced search, which I'll show you in a bit, is paralleled in the social media world. You can't even come close to it with, you know, secondary applications on Twitter. It's really, really good. It's very defined, and it's an excellent tool even for those of you who have the free account. And I'll talk a little bit about free and paid accounts later too. But even with the free account, you have a lot of options. So the search engine is unbelievable. And then, of course, you become a record in the database. But what's so cool about LinkedIn is it's exponential networking. And yes, that's true of Twitter to some extent, and Facebook with friends and friends of friends. But LinkedIn shows you the path. Like if you find someone, say, influential in your industry that you want to create a relationship with, LinkedIn will show you not only who they are, what their name is, but how you're connected to them and how you can reach out to them. Pay for an email, get introduced, you know, share a message through a group. LinkedIn will give you all the information you need to actually reach out and engage with the gateway people, with the influencers, with your potential clients, with vendors, with referral partners. I mean, so anyone that you're looking for, LinkedIn will show you who they are and how to get to them if they're in your network. And that is the big if. So the other thing I'm going to show you is how to grow a network very quickly and easily so that you're actually visible. On LinkedIn, I'll talk about first-level connections. Those are people you've invited or who's invited you. So like friends on Facebook.
Perfect.
But you'll also see, as I have on this screen, and this is found on your homepage right-hand side about halfway down, it'll show you your first-level connections. You can go ahead and take off the 25,000 here. If you've got, you know, 775 or less, that's fine. You don't need this many first-level connections.
Yes.
That's what I do for a living. But the important number is the connections link you to this number of professionals. And that is the total size of your network. And that needs to be at about 10 to 15 million. So that is what I'm going to show you how to do today so that you're actually visible on LinkedIn. So let's back up a little bit. Why do you even want to be on LinkedIn? Well, it's to see who you have in common in the world. How many times I'm looking for a type of person. I don't know the person's name yet. I'm looking for maybe the CMO of a company. And I know I'm looking for the CMO of a company. I don't know what his or her name is. And then I do a search on that individual by using those keywords, CMO and the name of the company. And it turns out I know the person. And if I don't know the person, turns out we have someone in common who I can get to introduce me to the person. That is absolutely priceless. You know, we all know when it comes to business, it's who we know. and it's getting that introduction. It's getting that recommendation or that referral. And so LinkedIn actually lays that out for you. So it shows you who you have in common in the world and then allows you to reacquaint with them. I was looking to get into big company here locally is OtterBox, and if you have a smartphone, you probably have an OtterBox phone protector, right? So OtterBox is a big company here locally, and I wanted to chat with, they have a fantastic social presence, but you know, maybe could use LinkedIn a little bit better. And so I did a little search on OtterBox. Turns out I actually know the head of marketing. I actually know that person. Who knew? So now I can get reacquainted with that individual. Great. Very, very powerful. I didn't know I knew that person. I didn't know that he had gotten that job. Wow. And there he was. So incredibly powerful tool. And then, of course, it's a great way to keep in touch with your colleagues. So you have a colleague. You've had a colleague for a while. They change. You know, they change to another real estate company, or they go to a different brokerage firm, or they start their own. And you lose touch with them because they're no longer at remax.com, right? So now you find them. There's their contact information. And, in fact, one of the tools I'm going to show you later is how to automatically keep that contact information updated. Because when your colleagues move to new companies, that gives you more opportunity to move into that company. So very, very powerful as well. And then getting information. I mean, many of you open up new areas all the time. You know, you've pretty much exploited your local area. Okay, great. We're going to head out of town and open up this new area. LinkedIn will show you who you know within 10, 35, 50, 100 miles of the zip code. And you can actually meet those individuals online and interact with them before you even move into that area, before you even open that area. So very, very powerful way to get information. Of course, you can also research your competition. I just realized they can research you too. But you can research your competition. One of the reasons I like having a paid account is it will show you everyone who has looked at your profile. And so you can see, is your competition checking you out? Are you, and what is your competition doing online? So it's a great way to get that information. Of course, if they don't know you can do that, then you've got the edge on them.
No question.
And then the other thing is creating niche markets. You might do a search for short sales, or you might do a search for first-time homeowners. And if no one else is claiming that, then you are the go-to person. So a great way to create a niche market and your story based on what is and what is not being offered in other people's LinkedIn profiles. So a lot of great things. Get advice. If you want to move into short sales, if you want to move into luxury homes, if you want to move into a different type of brokerage, if you want to include insurance, find out who's doing well in your field and reach out to them. Especially if they're in a different state, then they're not competition. And what I've found is people are very helpful on LinkedIn. I have about a 50 to 60% success rate of actually engaging, communicating, and building mentor-mentee relationships with individuals on LinkedIn. So very powerful in that way. And then, of course, you can position yourself as an expert. You can become the subject matter expert, and you can attract connections and clients by giving advice on LinkedIn, and there are various ways to do that, which I'll show you here. So that's kind of why you should be on LinkedIn. Okay, let's see. Now, how do you do all this that I've been talking about? Because, I only got 45 minutes left to tell you how to do it, so let's get into that.
I love it, love it. Yeah, somebody's asking, can you explain more about that, what you just covered? So this is perfect.
You got it. Yep, I sure can. I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. Now, most of you have websites already, and if you don't, you probably know about websites. You know about this thing called Google, and you probably have heard the term SEO, or search engine optimization, and that's simply putting keyword or keyword phrases in your website so that when people search on someone like you, your website shows up, hopefully over your competition's. So the cool thing about LinkedIn is you can do that on LinkedIn too. You can optimize your profile by using your keywords. So, what are keywords? Well, your name is a keyword. Your business name is a keyword. Your products and services are keywords. Your niche markets are a keyword. Your industries are keywords. Your, if you're a realtor, but you work maybe with a different type of industry. Maybe you work with medical professionals and all you do is find hospital space. So think about that as well. And then, do you have a promotion? Do you have an event coming up? Do you do something special during the holidays? So all of those things are keywords or search terms that you want to add in your profile. And I'm going to show you where to add those. Don't worry about that. But the first thing you want to do is kind of like what I have on this screen here, is have a list of your keywords, like I have on this sticky note. Put those keywords on a sticky note and attach them, beside your computer so that you know what keywords to use not only in your profile, but when you're sending updates. And by the way, this works for Facebook and for Twitter too. So when I talk about keywording your content, you can do that on Facebook as well, and on Twitter as well. So just be aware of that.
So once you
first of all,
keywords, once you have your
question?
Keywords, once you have all your keywords, you use those everywhere in every social media site, not only LinkedIn, but use those everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you have
exactly.
Right.
And the great thing about social is it's it's way easier than Google. Google loves social sites. It loves G plus best, by the way, Google plus best. So if you don't,
I have no idea why.
Take what I'm teaching you today and apply it to Google plus as well. Yeah. But Google loves social media sites, and it's way easier to place your social media than it is your website on Google. And so, yeah, what I show you today, you can apply across the board to all your different social sites. So the first thing is professional headline. Search on LinkedIn. It's that section right underneath your name. So here's my friend Brad. He's a realtor, but also he's a LinkedIn expert and LinkedIn speaker on real estate. And so, underneath his name is his professional headline. Now that's 120 characters. So if you've got a pen, write that down. It's 120 characters, not words. These are characters. So this is exactly probably 120 characters. But it describes what he does. It's not just founder or owner of BradHanks.com, which means nothing, right? If you don't know Brad, then that means nothing to you. He's the chief evangelical officer. He's a speaker. He's a trainer. He's a real estate broker. He shares how many first-degree connections he has. You don't have to do that. He puts his email address up there. So your keywords or describing what you do. So you could do something like real estate broker, working with short sales and first-time homeowners in the Washington area. That becomes your professional headline. And why this is so important is pretty much anything you do on LinkedIn, especially with the new user interface. If we have time, I'll show that to you. But with the new user interface, there's your picture, there's your name, there's your professional headline. If you're inviting someone to connect, sending an introduction, posting in a group, asking or answering a question, that's what shows up. Also, make sure you get your photo up there. My realtors especially already know how important your photo is. Right. Make sure you get it up there because, again, with the new user interface, they're really focusing on the photo.
Now,
so make sure you've got that up.
The photo from high school, right?
Not your photo from high school.
Okay.
If you want to use, if you want to look younger, use Photoshop.
Okay. All right.
And, you know, invest in a professional photo if you haven't yet. And for those folks who feel like they can't afford it, I always tell them, you know, sign up for Groupon or Living Social or Seize the Deal, because they always have, you know, $500 photography session for $50.
Right.
And yeah, they'll try to upsell you. But all you need is a good photo.
Okay.
Or grab your friend with their digital camera. But invest in the photo and invest in that professional headline section. Again, it's 120 characters. Tell people what you do, what your focus is, and use those keywords. The second area that you want to, well, that's weird. My slide went away. Okay, the second area you want to use your keywords is in title fields. So, yes, you're a realtor at RE/MAX, or you're a realtor at, you know, yourcompany.com, or your mortgage broker at. But what do you do? What do you focus on? What is your specialty? Again, luxury estates, first-time homeowners, short sales, etc. Make sure you get those keywords into the title field as well. So when you add experience to your profile, it's going to ask for the company name, and it's going to ask for, and it's going to pop your title field up there. You need to put those keywords in the title field as well. And that's probably one of the most important areas to add your information. Now, another really important area to add your information is the summary section on LinkedIn. And a lot of people ignore this section. And again, with the new user interface, you know, you really want it up there. It's going to be highlighted. So I always tell people, when you create your profile, do it first in a Word document for a few reasons. Formatting, you could add bullets. You can see your white space. You can add capitalization. You can't do bolding or italics. But at least you can see what you're writing in a Word document. Plus there's a grammar check. Plus there's a spell check. And your browser will probably have a spell checker on it, but I guarantee you it won't catch everything. So if you do it in a Word document first, you can format this, this summary section, and then you can cut and paste it back in. So this is, again, I'm just picking on Brad because he's a realtor as opposed to my profile, which, you know, I do marketing. So here's Brad, and first of all, make it easy to connect. And you notice he's capitalized his name, his certifications, the industries, location, and he's also said, invite me to connect. Like, here's how you can connect with me. So feel free to replicate mine or Brad's profiles. He's good with that. So make it easy to connect. You had a question?
No, I just said copy paste.
Copy paste, exactly. But make it your own.
I know.
You know, don't say invite me to connect at Brad at connectingpeoplewithsuccess.com, because, you know, you've got a long voice.
Where it says Brad's
You've
name,
got
put your name in there.
Exactly.
All right.
But you've got 2,000 characters here to really define who you are and what you do. So 2,000 characters is a lot. That's probably exactly 2,000 characters. And tell people why you're on LinkedIn. You know, why are you here? To meet with people, to consult, to sell houses, to get new business, to position myself as a thought leader. You know, let people know why you're on LinkedIn. But more importantly, let them know why they should hire you. You know, with 15 plus years of experience, I have sold 8,000 houses in an average of 22 days, or, you know, I don't know. Is that good? I don't know. But anyway, let people know what you do and why they should hire you. Why should you sell their house or find their next building? Or, you know, we've all seen how hard it is to get a loan these days. Well, I've managed to close, you know, this number of loans with people who have an average credit score of, you know, 620 or whatever. So make sure you tell people why they should hire you. Give them specifics. It's about the benefits, not necessarily just the features, what you offer. But again, 2,000 characters, you really have the opportunity to tell a bit of a story here. And, of course, use your keywords. Make sure you pop your keywords in there somewhere.
Hey,
the other thing that you're going to want to do is customize your websites. So you'll see people, it'll say company website, personal website, personal website. I'm not going to click on that. That's boring. So what you want to do instead is define or put a call to action in your website. Now to do that, make sure you're in Edit Profile. and you're going to click on the little box that says contact information. They've made it difficult. Contact information, click on that box, and then it'll say edit next to company website, personal website. Click on that edit, and then there'll be a drop-down box. Now the magic word here is other. In the drop-down box, choose other, and once you've chosen other, this middle field opens up and you can describe your website. Sell more houses here, you know, sell your house here, buy your house here, close your loan here. So put a call to action, or you can also describe your website. But make sure it just doesn't say company website, personal website.
Right.
And no one's going to click on that. And of course we want them to click on it not only because we want them to go to our profile, but Google says, oh look, all this traffic is coming from this giant website called LinkedIn into this smaller website. It must be really relevant. So we really want to drive people to click on it, plus we want people to look at our websites. Now the other thing is, you know, if you don't have 3 websites, not everybody has 3 websites, you can also go to different landing pages on your website. So the About Us section, the testimonial section, the services you offer section. So use 3 different landing pages if you only have 1 website. But that is definitely worth doing, you know, today. The other thing that you want to do is customize your public profile URL. So you'll notice, you know, with Brad it says www.linkedin.com/in/Brad Hanks, or linkedin.com/in/Scott Hudspeth, right?
Yep.
It doesn't say linkedin.com/pub/Scott-Hudspeth 16944382245, because that's really hard to remember.
Absolutely.
So what you want to do to customize your LinkedIn, this is just like Facebook, getting a username. Unlike Facebook, you can change it as often as you want, but if you're going to use it in your marketing, you probably want to find something and keep it. But you're going to click on Edit to the right of where it says Public Profile. So your public profile URLs at the bottom of that kind of snapshot area at the top of your profile. And it's a little, they made it so small. I don't know what they were thinking. They were thinking that we all have, you know, 30-year-old eyes, I guess.
There you go.
It's a little teeny tiny gray or blue in, and then next to it's a URL, and then next to that it'll say Edit. Click on Edit. Don't click on the link itself. Click on Edit, and when you click on, it'll take you to a new page. On the right-hand side, about halfway down, you'll see a link that says Customize Your Public Profile URL. You'll click on that, and then that's going to allow you, that's going to open up a page that looks like this, and then you'll just put your first name or your first name and your last name in there, or the name of your brokerage firm, or the name of your real estate company. Just know it's a unique URL, so there can't be 2 of you. You might have to use the middle initial. And it is a web link, so there can't be any spaces. And you can't put special characters in there, even underscores, which is unfortunate.
Very
so
weird.
first name, middle initial, last name. But do this. When I look at someone's profile, they could have the best profile in the world, and if they haven't done this yet, I'm like, neophyte. So go ahead and make sure you change that today. All right, and the other reason you want to do that is because Google likes it. If you Google LinkedIn expert, I show up first. Well, my LinkedIn profile shows up first, and then my website shows up 4th. But you have to have, if you put your name in that URL, you have a much better chance of people finding you under Google for your name. So, yeah, it's worth doing, I think.
Absolutely.
So those are just a few tips that you can do to really optimize and customize your LinkedIn profile. Of course, there are many other sections on LinkedIn, so take what I said and apply to those sections. Add keywords, do your formatting. You know, in the experience section, you have 1,000 characters in the description section. So go ahead and pop your content in there. Do it first in a Word document. Cut and paste it over. And then while you're at it, go ahead and replicate that content in Facebook. Why not? So make sure that you use those keywords, and make sure you use that formatting throughout your entire profile. Now, so that's how LinkedIn works like Google, in that if you put the right keywords in the right places, you have a better chance of getting found. And like I said, you've only got 8,000 competitor or 800,000 competitors, which on a a social site is not many, really.
Right.
So get those keywords in there. Do that today. Now, how LinkedIn doesn't work like Google is that you're only as visible as the size of your network. So on Google, all you have to do is have the right keywords in the right places, and your website is going to show up. But on LinkedIn, you could have all the right keywords in the right places, but if someone does a search on someone like you and they are not a first, second, or third level connection, or they don't share a group with you, then all LinkedIn says is LinkedIn member. Click here, pay us if you want to see them. So for those of you who thought LinkedIn doesn't work because you have to have a paid account, it's because your network's too small. Why is your network too small? Because LinkedIn tells you to only connect to people you know, but that's baloney. You need to connect to people who are connected, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So keep an eye on your first level connections. It's not so important to have that at a huge number. The important number, again, is that bottom level, the total number of people in your network. So the first way to find great people to connect with is through the advanced search. And this is available to you whether you have a paid or a free account, doesn't matter. So to get to the advanced search, just make sure you're either on home or profile or contacts, or that the drop-down box says people. Otherwise, you're going to be searching in your groups, your inbox, your jobs, your companies. So home, people, contacts, or make sure the drop-down box says people. Click on advanced, and now you can search by keyword, by name, by location. So let's just say a good, well, why don't you connect to each other? So a good connection for you would be a mortgage broker as a realtor. So I'm going to put in mortgage broker. And you know, I work in a fairly specific area, so I'm going to put mortgage broker in the keyword section, and then I'm going to put my area code, and you know, maybe 50 miles within my area code. Or maybe I want to connect with a mortgage broker at a specific firm, so I could put the name of that company there. And maybe I only want to work with the founders or owners or CEOs of that mortgage firm, so then I can put their title in there. So then I'm going to do a basic search. Now what you can't see on the screen is once you've done a search, you can also search by size of network or by connections. So you'll do a search, and then you'll click on the box that says search by connections, and then it's going to show you the people who have the most connections. Not only are you finding the right clients, vendors, partners, investors, employees, employers, but you're finding those people who also are super connected. And how LinkedIn works is if you connect to me, my 7-point-whatever second level connections become your third level connections. So you just became visible to 7 million more people by connecting to me. It actually doesn't work quite that easily because LinkedIn put the cap on it at 2.5 million. But you get my point.
Lots.
The more people you connect with who have big networks, the better. Yeah. And by using the advanced search, you can also find people who are, you know, who are also strategic. I mean, these are individuals you'd want to have in your network anyway.
Absolutely.
So utilize that advanced search. Now what's really cool is once you've done an advanced search, you can save that search. So there I've done a search. Now I can click on Save Search, and LinkedIn is going to send me an email. It's going to send me an email of individuals who fall into those search results.
Wow. Okay.
Those are called leads.
Yeah, hello. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
Isn't that awesome? So with the free account, you get 3 saved searches. With the basic paid account, you get 5 saved searches. So you could do a search specifically targeted on mortgage brokers. You could do a search specifically targeted on realtors. You could do a search specifically targeted on business owners. Now the paid account will give you some more search fields. It'll tell you what position the person has in the company, what size company it is, whether they're Fortune 500 company. So to me, it's worth the $20 a month or something like that to have those other search algorithms. But again, you can do this with the free account. So just, just do it. That's the first way of really starting to build your network.
Is that what it is, 20 a month?
The second way to build your network is by people who are at companies you want to be connected to. So you can just search for a company name, Remax, First National Bank, and then you can see who you know in those companies, and you can invite those individuals to connect with you. And so it's called lurking LinkedIn, when you're spying on people, but it's not stalking, and it's completely legal. But it will show you who you know at that company, and if they're a first or a second level. Now, if they're a first level connection, you're already connected. Great. You can just send them a message and start engaging. If they're second level connection, you can invite them to connect. You can get introduced to them. But it's a great way to see who in your network or who at a company you need to be connected to in order to build your network. Third thing is you can upload your mailing list. Many of you already have mailing lists. So maybe you want to connect to those people on LinkedIn as well. To do that, you click on the green Add Connections button, very, very top right-hand side of your profile. Click on any email, and then it'll say More Ways to Connect. You'll click on Upload Your Contacts file.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Now, it's amazing, and let me give you a caveat here. LinkedIn, nowhere will it ever tell you that you can only send 3,000 invitations.
3,000.
And many of you have mailing lists that are more than 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And if you use this tool and upload these contacts and just hit Select All, Send Invitation, you're done. And LinkedIn won't tell you this until you're down to your last 1,000. Well, guess what? If your mailing list is 4,500 people on it, you're done. You can't send out any more invitation. You can't buy them. You can actually beg for them at cs@linkedin.com, customer service at linkedin.com. They'll portion them out like 100 at a time.
Oh.
But you're essentially done. So whether you upload your Gmail list, your Earthlink list, your name at yourname.com list, your Yahoo list, your Hotmail list, or you use this tool, do that. But please uncheck the Select All button, and go through and make sure you're actually only inviting the people to connect that you want to, and cap it at about 1,500.
Okay.
Because otherwise, half the usability of LinkedIn is gonzo.
Right.
Now, another way to grow your network is to join groups. So these people won't become your first level connections, but if you join a group, then all the people in that group join your networks. You become more visible to them. So it's first, second, third level connections and groups. And the best group, one of the best groups to join, you're not job seekers, you're not looking for a job. Nonetheless, join Linked HR. Because actually, as of today, I think it has 600,000 or 700,000 members. So you grow your network by like 700,000 people.
That's a great
just
way.
by joining that group.
Fantastic way to grow and be known as the expert also, is to be a part of these groups and get.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Groups are great. They're very noisy. If we have time, I'll show you how to turn off some of that noise. But they're great for growing your network easily and effortlessly. They're also great because of what I call reverse engineering. This is my super secret ninja trick, okay?
All right.
So, say you find someone you want to connect with. So you do a search for an individual, and here are your results. So you do a search, get results, and you really want to connect with Bridget. But she's a second level connection, so I can invite her to connect, but I don't really know her yet. I'd like to send her a message first. So LinkedIn says, sure, no problem. You can get introduced to her, but what if you don't really know the person you have in common, or don't like them? Or you can pay LinkedIn $10, and they'll send an in-mail for you. An in-mail is a paid LinkedIn message that you can send to second or third level connections. Or you can just do this. You can find the individual, pull up their profile, and once you pull up your profile, you'll scroll down to the bottom of their profile and see what groups they're a member of. Oh. Then if you already share a group, it'll say already a member. You just click on that group. Or you might have to join a group, but that's okay. You can join up to 50 groups. And once you join that, once you join that group, then all you do is you go into the members section of that group. So find a person, click on their profile, see what group they're a member of, join or enter that group. And once you've done that, you go to the members tab, and then you just pop their name in there. And they'll show up, and even though they're a second level connection, meaning I normally would have to get introduced, ask them to connect, or send an email, over here I have the option of sending them a message.
Wow.
My message may very well be, hey Bridget, I found you. I noticed that you're the president of the National Speakers Association in Illinois. I'd love to connect with you. Would you accept an invitation? Get their permission before you then come up here and invite them to connect. Or it might be, hey, I noticed that you're a mortgage broker in this area and that you work exclusively with short sales. I'm a realtor. I do the same thing. Could we meet for coffee? Could I call you sometime? What's your success rate? Whatever it is, you can just send them a message, and you don't have to pay for it. And you don't have to jump. Well, you obviously have to jump through some hoops here, but you don't have to jump through LinkedIn's hoops.
Right.
So you don't have to pay them. You don't have to get an introduction, etc. So again, it's finding the contact, finding what groups they're a member of, joining that group or going into that group if you already share that group with them, and then just sending them a message. So groups you want to join on LinkedIn to be kind of proactive are, of course, your own industry groups, so realtor or mortgage broker groups. The groups where your clients are likely to be hanging out if you work with a specific industry. Really big groups. Another big group is called TopLinked, TopLinked. And I'm going to show you why you want to join TopLinked here in the next slide. But TopLinked. Jobs. Jobs is a huge group. There's almost 1 million people in the jobs group. Great place to find employees. Great place to find other realtors and mortgage brokers too, unfortunately. But jobs might be a group worth joining. Linked HR we've already talked about. So those are good groups to join. Alumni groups, theoretically alumnus like help each other out. So alumni groups. Location-based groups, especially if you're thinking about opening a new area. Remember that slide? If you're thinking about opening a new area, join groups in that particular area and start interacting with individuals within those groups before you even move there, before you even open it. So that's incredibly powerful. So those are all kinds of groups you want to join to grow your, but also so that you can easily start interacting with the individual members of that group. Now I just mentioned TopLinked.com. So there's a TopLinked group on LinkedIn. The logo looks like this. But also, once you've joined that group, you can go to TopLinked.com. So TopLinked.com has a list of TopLinked top supporters. So you'll click on that. So it's TopLinked.com, TopLinked top supporters. When you click on that list, a bunch of people will show up. Now, these are individuals who have paid to be on this list. You can, I don't recommend it. There's a lot of spammers out there these days. But these individuals have paid to be on this list because they want to grow their network. Why is that useful for them? Well, the bigger their network, the easier it is for them to connect with potential clients, employees, vendors, etc. But how does that help you? Well, their first level connections become your second level connections. Their second level connections become your third level connections. Connecting with just 10 to 20 of these individuals will grow your network out to that 10 to 15 million mark. And what's cool is you can just click on a name. So if I were to click on Eric's name, I just click on a name, his LinkedIn profile shows up, and then I can just click on connect and invite him to connect with me. To do this easily, you have to join the TopLinked group first on LinkedIn. Otherwise, you're going to have to say how you know him. You'll still have to say how you know him. It's through the group. But since you're probably not colleague, classmate, friend, then that's a little bit more difficult. But if you share a group together, when you click on connect, it's easy to send that invitation. Again, just 10 to 15 of these, I think there's 60 people on this list. Just 10 to 15 of those individuals, and you are going to have a network that's visible. So now you have a profile that's visible. You have a network that's visible. Now you can start interacting and engaging with individuals, position yourself as a thought leader, attract leads. So how do we do that?
Great question.
Well, first of all, updates. You know, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, you already know about updates. Well, LinkedIn has updates too. You don't have to update as much on LinkedIn. Once a day is fine. It's important to do updates because the new user interface on LinkedIn is really going to focus on the activity field. So it's important to do those updates. But you don't have to be all Facebooky or Twittery about it. You know, just one business-related update a day. You can post your listings here. You know, some folks say that's a good idea. Some folks say it's not a good idea. It's completely up to you what you're comfortable doing. But just know that you can post listings there if you want to. Brad doesn't like it. I'm like, yeah, why not? But also you want to post updates that might engage people that other people might find interesting. Now, LinkedIn actually has a tool that allows you to do that. You know, when you go to a blog site, there's usually a button to share on, to like, you know, for Facebook like. There's usually a button to share on Twitter, but rarely is there a LinkedIn sharing button. They're so snobby that way. But you can create your own sharing button on LinkedIn. So what you do is on any page you're on LinkedIn, you can be on any page at all, doesn't matter. Go to the very, very bottom of the profile, and there's a list of hyperlinks at the bottom, right? It's usually called a sitemap. So the link that says tools is the one you want to click on. So any page on LinkedIn, doesn't matter, go to the very bottom, center where it says tools, click on that, and there is this tool called the sharing bookmark. Let me see. Nope, didn't let me do it. There's a tool called the sharing bookmarklet. Stop it. And you're going to pull that link up into your browser, and then it doesn't matter what page you're on. You could be on your own website. You could be on somebody else's website. You could be on a blog post. You could be on MSN. You could be on, you might not be able to be on Facebook or Twitter, but as long as it's online, with the exception of Facebook and Twitter, you can then just click on that Share on LinkedIn button, and not only can you post it to your updates on LinkedIn, but you can then share it to Twitter, so two birds, one stone, no pun intended, Twitter bird. You can also post it to your groups. So now again, in one or two clicks, you're sharing helpful, useful information with your network and with your groups. But wait, there's more. You can also share that with individuals that you're connected with. So let's say you're connected to someone, you invited them, they invited you, and you want to stay top of mind with them. You know, because when they're ready to buy a house, you want them to think about you. Well, if you send them house buying tips once a week or once a month, or if you send them, you know, MSN articles about the economy, maybe don't do that. You know, if you send them articles, though, you stay top of mind with them. So when they're like, okay, it's time for me to bite the bullet and buy that property or lease that property, then you're the one who comes top of mind.
Absolutely.
Or someone says, you know, I'm looking to move into Washington, D.C. I don't know who to talk to about office space. Should I buy? Should I lease? And they're going, oh, yeah, that Scott guy always sends me those really interesting articles. I don't read them, but he sends them to me about, you know, real estate investing.
That's right.
Here, I'll just tell them about Scott. And now you've got a referral.
Yeah.
And it's taken you maybe a minute, a week. I'm not kidding. That's how quick it is. The sharing bookmarklet is a super, super awesome tool. By the way, free. Everything's free unless I tell you otherwise.
That's right.
So that's one of the great applications. Another great, there are several applications actually. So if you go to the More tab, which is found at the top of your profile, I'm moving you all over the profile. So if you go to the More tab, which is at the top of your profile, you'll see that it says Get More Applications. There's a real estate application called ROFO where you can put listings, your real estate listings. So you might as well use that since you're realtors, you know, those of you who are on the call. So ROFO is a great app for you to utilize. but also for those of you who have blogs, there's a WordPress or a blog link. Those will import your blog straight into the heart of your profile. Don't have to do anything other than just set it up, and then it's automatic. There's also a tool called Box.net. Most of you know Dropbox. So Box.net is exactly like Dropbox. The only reason I recommend Box.net is because there's no Dropbox application on LinkedIn, and there is a Box.net app.
Okay.
But Box.net will allow you to upload testimonials from happy clients, listings, questionnaires. If you want your clients to fill out a form before they come to see you, you can upload those forms there. Just know these are public, so just be aware of that. But you can use Box.net to upload any type of Word document, PowerPoint presentation, PDF, Excel sheet, MP3s. And then for those of you who have video, especially, some of those really videos, house tour videos, you can embed one of those videos into a PowerPoint presentation and then upload that presentation using SlideShare so that that house tour, someone lands on your LinkedIn page and that house tour starts playing. So unbelievably powerful tool, and most people don't even realize it's there. So those are all found under the More tab under Get More Applications. Also new to LinkedIn is a Notifications tab, just like Facebook. Now, I don't know about you, but I go to Facebook, I click on my notifications, I respond to the important ones, and that's pretty much all I do on Facebook on any given day. Right. So LinkedIn has now got this notification tab, so allows you to do the same thing. It's going to show you who has looked at your profile, who has endorsed your skills, who has responded to your updates, who's responding to a discussion that you're active in a group. It all lives right there. So it's a Notifications tab. It's a little blue flag on the top of your profile menu bar. And if nothing else, just go there every day, see what people are saying, and respond to the individuals that you need to respond to. But that's the Notifications tab right at the top of your profile. That's what all that is about. And finally, if you want the work, ask for it. Find individuals you need to connect to. Connect with those referral partners. Connect with those. Connect with individual, vendors. Connect with people who might eventually make a good client for you. Don't connect with someone and then say, "Hey, I noticed that you are the CEO of this company. You need more space? I can get it for you." That's cheesy. But if you connect with them ahead of time and keep an eye on them, then, or like I said before, send messages to them once a week, once every other week, once a month, you become top of mind, so then they come to you. We're not doing special offers, so I'll switch back. Unless you want to.
What? Go ahead. I mean, if you have something you'd like to put out there, I'm more than happy to like it. So whatever you.
That's okay. I do have a book. I do have a lot of product, and if you're interested in the product, just email me and I'll honor this price. But more importantly, there is the book that I just wrote, LinkedIn Marketing an Hour a Day. So if you want more, it's a quote, a real book. It's a Wiley book. You can also download it on your Kindle if you want to. Just go to Amazon and type in LinkedIn Marketing an Hour a Day. Just to make you feel better, it's not going to take you an hour a day. That's just the name of the series. I wish it was LinkedIn Marketing in 20 minutes a day, but which is really all it's going to take you. But it's the name of the series, so there you go. All right. And look, see, I told you I could do it in 55 minutes.
Good stuff. All right, so I've been saving the questions. I've been saving the questions because I didn't want to bother you because you were on a roll, and I'm usually never that quiet, just so you know. So I'm like, all right. So is there Matt Murphy asked, what are the reasons you would not accept or accept a connection? Is there any reason you wouldn't?
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Great question.
Okay,
so and there's some of you right there sending me invitations. That's awesome. So let me see if I can find, there are abusers of every network, and guess what? They found LinkedIn too.
Right.
So actually all of these folks look real. I've actually got a blog post on it. Let me see if I can find it here really quickly. Yeah, I used to just accept everybody. Okay. Because I'm what's known as an open networker, and so I would just accept everyone. If you sent me an invitation, that's awesome. I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to accept you, but I don't do that anymore because there's a lot of fakers out there. Yeah, here's an example. So there's a lot of people doing phishing expeditions too. This doesn't really answer your question directly. I will get back to the question, but it reminds me of this. If you receive an invitation from someone in your email, not on LinkedIn, but in your email, and then you go to LinkedIn to accept that invitation, and the invitation isn't there, chances are it's someone who is running a phishing expedition, pretending to be LinkedIn to get your contact information. And how you can tell that is, first of all, the email address is not actually from LinkedIn. So it says LinkedIn invitations, but you notice the email address is actually some European email address. Also, it's not saying, hi, John. It's saying, hi, email address. LinkedIn is going to call you by their first name. Trust me, they have it. The problem is, oh, and then the third thing is, usually it's an invitation from someone who's got a really high ranking, like, you know, CEO of Sears Holdings.
Yeah.
Why would that person be reaching out to you? Right? So, you know, all those three things, read warning, warning, warning. So ignore it. And if you click, even if you click on unsubscribe or learn why we included this, you're still opting into that phishing expedition.
Okay.
So don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Be careful, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. All right, let me show you also what a kind of a fake invitation looks like. I'll get there eventually. Let's see here. Basically what you're looking for is a stock photo. Sometimes, you know, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. It's amazing how many of them are on LinkedIn. So that's one of the things that you're going to keep an eye out for. The other thing is they've got a high position. Let's see, I think maybe I might have mentioned it in this one. No, I didn't. Okay. They've got a high-level position. They're usually a recruiter at Apple or something like that. Interestingly, they've only worked at 2 places, and they all seem to have gone to school at Harvard from 2005 to 2008. And they have nothing else on their profile whatsoever. Wow. So those are things to keep an eye out for. I'm not able here to find it really easily.
Well, I'm glad you showed us the email one because I've definitely been.
But that, yeah, that'll at least.
That's freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little freaky, isn't it? So, yeah, if you get an invitation and basically their profile isn't filled out yet, and it has clearly it's a stock photo. Although I noticed that they started going in for the matronly look as well. So, but they went to school from 2005 to 2008. Here it is, and they have nothing else. That's worth looking at. So. Yeah, here's an example. You know, attractive stock photo, kind of usually an odd combination first name. Right. But you notice they worked at 2 places, went to school at a high-level Ivy League school from 2005 to 2008, and nothing else in their profile other than groups they've joined. Okay. So, and they usually haven't. They don't have a unique URL either. So, yeah. Oh look, yeah. And again. But wait, there's more, and again, and again. Bridget Bardot here, you know. So right. That's what you're looking for. So don't accept those individuals. In fact, go ahead and report them as big fat spammers. Perfect. In fact, what I did to stop getting these is I wrote them. First of all, I reported them to LinkedIn. But I also reported them directly, or I replied to them directly and said, you know, by the way, I'm going to continue to report your profiles as spam, so you probably want to stop inviting me. Yeah. And they stopped. They dried up. Nice. That was a really long answer.
I'm surprised. Yeah, no, you're good. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one. What should you do if you have connected to an old broker or agents that are competition?
Excellent question. Yeah. Now, mind you, you're lucky. I can't do this anymore. One of the reasons not to have a super big network is, oops, I went to the wrong page, is because I can't delete people from my profile anymore. But what you can do is just go to Contacts and Connections. I'm going to keep getting error messages, but go to Contacts and go to Connections, and then come over here where it says Remove Connections, You can't do it from this first page. You have to go to the second page and click on Remove Connections. It's not going to let me. I'm going to get an error message. But when you click on Remove Connections, then you can just go through and find the individual or individuals, because you can remove a bunch of people at one time, and you can just remove them. LinkedIn's not going to tell them.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Yeah, LinkedIn's not going to tell them.
Okay, cool. Here's a great question. I connected with a high-profile CEO client who had top connections with other prospective CEO clients. I shot invites to them all and made some really good connections. I don't really want to share these connections with my local broker competition. Should I not connect with my immediate real estate agent competition?
Yeah, that's a good question. Unfortunately, unlike Facebook, you can't control that stuff.
Yeah.
What you can do, though, if you're uncomfortable with people seeing your connections, you can't do it partially, unfortunately, but you can hide your connection. So if you go to your name, underneath your name to settings, you can select who can see your connections by you or everyone. So it's basically all or nothing. There's no way of organizing that, so only certain people can see certain people, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But keep connecting. Keep connecting to those super connectors.
Cool.
This isn't your question, but let me show you something why you want to keep connecting to super connectors. This is so cool. This is only available on the newest user interface, of which I don't have yet, but my connection Brandon does. This is kind of interesting. It used to be all or nothing, but now as new people get these new profiles, you can actually see what they look like. Anyway, what is so cool, if someone has a new where am I going here? If someone has a new profile, you can scroll down to your shared connections and do a search. So I can search my connections for like mortgage brokers.
Okay. Awesome.
And so I can see who we have in common.
Ooh.
And then what's great is I can just send a message to that individual because they're first level connection. But you know, if I don't know them very well, like we're connected, but I don't really know them very well, I could say, hey, Brandon, I noticed that we're both or hey, John, I noticed that we're both connected to Brandon and that you're a mortgage broker. You know, I do this and I would love to, you know, take you out for coffee or whatever. But it's a really way of further defining who you're looking for. Actually, I lied. You can also search for second-level connections. So it's easiest to search your first-level connections that way.
Okay.
But you can also come here to the advanced search. So again, I'm searching my friend Brandon's profile for mortgage brokers, but I can also search by, oh, he doesn't have any. But I could search by second-level connections and group members as well. And remember, with those group members, you still only get 3 results. With those group members, though, as long as we share a group together, I can go through that group. So I can go down into that profile, go into that group, find that individual, go into that group. Come on, Internet. Find that individual in the members box. Type in his name, and then even if they're second-level connection, doesn't matter. I can send them a message. Don't even have to be a first-level connection.
That's a great trick.
Yeah, it's a great trick.
Can you tell us why here? Catherine, I think it's Catherine Mitchell. She asked you, can you explain the first, second, and third levels? I mean, what's the importance of that? I mean,
sure, absolutely. So on your profile, oh wait, it's not there anymore. That's right, they got rid of it. So on your home page, about halfway down, it's going to show you, of course, who your first-level connections are and who everyone in your network is. Now, the reason this is important is your first-level connections, those are people who've invited you or who you've invited. So any one of these individuals I can just send a message to.
Okay.
I don't have to jump through any hoops. I don't have to pay LinkedIn. I don't even have to go the groups route. I can just send them a message. They can send me a message. Great, we can engage. Now, second-level connections are people we have in common. So when you're going to ask for an introduction, let me just find someone here I'm not connected to. Let's see here. So when you ask, let's see here. So when you find someone that you're not connected to, your second-level connections, those are the people it's really easy to ask for an introduction for. So if it's a third level connection, 2 people have to move that introduction along. But if it's a first level, or if it's a second level connection, then I can just have Rose introduce me to Edward. And, you know, since I know Rose and I've done her a favor, she's probably, and I'm going to tell her why I want to get introduced to Edward, she's probably likely to do it. If I have to go through 2 levels of people, it's a little bit harder. But nonetheless, those third level connections, at least you're in their network. So you're showing up in a search. So if someone's searching for someone like you, and you know, it'll say who's viewed your profile. So you can see who's searching for someone like you, and this is why I recommend the paid account, because I can now see who's looked at me. Hi, Lisa. I can see who's looked at me and invite them to connect, or if they're first level connection, just send them a message. Those are called leads.
Okay.
So that's why I pay for that. There's Brandon. So now I can just send him a message or invite that person to connect. So that's important. But it will also show me, but at least I'm showing up in those searches, right?
Got it.
So at least I'm showing up in those searches.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I've been blacklisted on LinkedIn. I will.
Me too.
And Lisa, you probably have been informed incorrectly, so I'm gonna save you a world of hurt here. I was informed, as was Lisa, to put contact information or keywords in my last name field. That goes against LinkedIn's end user agreement. So if someone, now LinkedIn's not very proactive about it, but if someone were, so go change it right now. So if someone were to turn Lisa in, she gets blacklisted and she doesn't show up in a search anymore. So Lisa, change that right now. So like my last name, I'll show you what I'm talking about. My last name was, here we go. My last name was Vivica. My last name was Von Rosen, /space LinkedIn expert, which LinkedIn likes a lot. I mean, sorry, which Google likes a lot. LinkedIn doesn't like at all. So actually, if you do a search for me, I often won't even show up first under my own name. You know, other people will show up before I do. I think that's changed recently. But I've been blacklisted, so you know, all of these folks are going to show up before I even show up under my own name.
Wow.
So you don't want to get blacklisted, so you don't want to put anything other than your keyword, I'm sorry, other than your name. Okay. Here's a good example of it, other than your name in your name field. So, for example, I'm a nice person, so someone already turned him in. Okay, yeah, we had someone who had their LinkedIn expert after their first name. Someone turned him in already. So you don't want anything but your first name and your last name in the first name, last name field. But anyway, to go back and answer your question, first level connection, someone you invite who's invited you, you can send them a message really easily. Second level connections, easy to get introduced to or by or through. Third level connections, well, at least they're showing up in your network. And groups takes it back almost to that first level connection, in that as long as you share a group with someone, you can usually send them a message. So that's kind of cool too. Cool.
All right, and let's just let's see. Can we end with this one? We'll end with this one because I know you're busy. I appreciate your time sincerely. Sure. Can you touch on the new? And I would love to know the answer behind this. The new endorsement. The click of a button.
Oh yeah.
Somebody. That is just.
You know, I have a total love-hate relationship with the endorsements.
Yeah.
So all of you have been inundated, right?
Yes.
Inundated with these stupid endorsements. Endorse this person. You're getting them via email. You're getting them when you click on someone's profile.
Right.
Everywhere, everywhere. Endorse, endorse, endorse. So here's what bugs me about it. It becomes a numbers game. It's kind of like clout, right? Yeah. It almost becomes a numbers game. Well, I've got, although they do cap it at 99, so there's that. But, you know, I've got 73 endorsements and you've only got 3.
Oh, okay.
So that's where it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Okay.
Plus, they don't really mean much. I mean, all I have to do is click on someone's. I don't actually know Thomas, and I'm assuming Thomas probably doesn't know. He might have been actually when I spoke in Denmark. But, you know, and okay, I'll just go ahead and endorse you. Yeah. I don't know you, but I'll go ahead and endorse you because it's right there.
Right.
Right? So that's happening a lot. I'm not a big fan of the fact that LinkedIn's made it way too easy. It took me 7 years to get 100 recommendations. It took me 7 days to get 100 endorsements.
Yeah.
Now, where they are useful, the reason I do like them, like I said, love-hate relationship, the reason I like them is because if I go to someone's profile and they don't have any endorsed, they have like a 50 skills listed, but they don't have any endorsements for any of those skills, yeah. I'm a little concerned that maybe they don't actually have those skills. Like if I were to put in here, what am I really bad at? Time management. If I were to put time management in here, there would be no endorsements for that because I suck at it. So you would never want to hire me to do your time management for you. So it's kind of where it's, and especially when you're looking at invitations from people, if they don't have any endorsements and no profile and those things I was talking about earlier, then don't connect to them. Do not connect to them. Cool. Now the other reason I like endorsements is right here. When I scroll over someone's picture, first of all, I get their picture, but when I scroll over their picture, it's going to show me their name. It's going to show me what they do, but I can view their profile. I can send them a message really quickly because these are all, you can only get endorsements from your first level connections, but I can also download the V card.
Cool.
So they got rid of that in the most, not the most recent, but the user interface change right before the most recent one. You'll notice they got rid of V cards, which were so easy. You just download a V card. Now you have their contact information in whatever contact program that you're using.
Okay.
So this is one of the few ways you still have access to those V cards. But also, it's a great way to re-engage. So, as I go through here, I might see someone and I haven't interacted with them for a while, so I can just see their names, and now I can just send them a message. Hey, Kim, how are you doing? Congratulations on the latest publication, whatever. But it's a great way to re-engage with individuals. So, like I said, love-hate relationship. Yeah. When it comes to endorsements.
Awesome. And one last, if you have 2 more seconds, Peggy,
sure,
our big group over in Ann Arbor, she has a group there. She wants to know what the advantages of having the paid account. Is there a quickie on that one?
Yeah. So I used to say, you just need a big enough network, and and that's all you need. I actually really like the paid account. Let me give you a few reasons why. Okay. First of all, I now have the ability to get the profile organizer with my paid account. So while LinkedIn doesn't have a CRM system per se, I am able to write notes for and classify first, second, and third level connections. You'll notice they don't all have to be first level connections. So I can save those individuals, which is really important, as you know, CRM for customer follow-up, customer relationship management, client relationship management. So the profile organizer you can only get with the paid account. The main reason I have the paid account is so I can see who's viewed my profile.
Okay.
Both because, our competitors viewing my profile, but also, as I mentioned earlier, y'all are leads. Okay, right. Christian, get rid of this. I'm telling you. Those are leads. Same thing. Y'all folks, you need to listen to me. Get rid of anything other than your last name in the last name field. I know you're going to do it after this call. But, so these are leads for me, or, in some cases competition. But these are leads. So that's another good reason to have the paid account. Another good reason to have a paid account is on the latest. Now I got to find Brandon. Give me 1 second here. With the newest LinkedIn profile. Oops, there it was. No, nope, that's not the newest one. With the newest one, I'm able to you see what we have in common. It's really, there it is. Okay, quick, go here. There we are. So the new user interface, which looks like this. Right? So if this looks different than yours, don't worry, yours is coming. But check this out. This is so cool. With the paid account, I can see by location what I have, what Brandon's network looks like. So Brandon has a really big network in Canada. Well, if I'm looking to move into Canada, Brandon makes a good connection for me. I can see what industry Brandon's active in? Well, marketing and advertising. So Brandon is a great, plus we have the same type of dog.
Right.
So, you know, Brandon is an excellent connection for me. So yes, I want to connect with him. Plus, check this out. What do I have in common with Brandon? Well, we have 5 shared skills and expertise, and we share 2 groups together. So now I have some talking points. Hey, Brandon, I noticed that you're really active in social media marketing, in marketing communications, and on online advertising. I'm known as a LinkedIn expert. I do a lot of LinkedIn training, so would love to talk to you if you ever need to bring me in. I'm also very weak in online advertising, so I'd love to talk to you to find out more about what you do in the realm of online advertising. That's called engagement, right?
More tools and better engagement with the paid.
More tools, better engagement. Yeah, to me it is worth. Now you don't need the really expensive account. I think the very basic one, which is like $24 or $20 a month, that's probably all you need.
Okay.
Is that basic account? There it is. Yeah, the basic business account. Oh yeah. Plus you get 3 in-mails, so that's the ability a month. Woohoo! LinkedIn's so generous. So that's the ability to send 3 messages to people who are not first-level connections, which is why I recommend groups. And you get 15 introductions. And I think that's actually really important now, because with being able to search your connections, you're going to be using more introductions. So I recommend the paid account, and I never ever did until this year. But the new user interface, definitely.
Awesome. So just to recap for me of some stuff that I wrote down.
Okay.
I mean, what this really boils down to, one is it allows you to reach out and grab clients or higher end or business owners. It allows you to engage and interact in a social media platform that not everybody likes to be in. For example, the higher average income. There's more business owners, so business owners, of course, buy houses. They have friends that are business owners, so it's just a different playing field of higher income, because I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think LinkedIn is a higher average income than Facebook by quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's 106,000 average, or 109,000 average income on LinkedIn, and yeah, I would assume Facebook and Twitter are significantly lower.
Quite a bit less, yeah. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. Really, what it boils down to is just being there, being professional, opening the doors to your business on LinkedIn, and letting them know who you are and what you do for a living, and then just engaging and interacting with people, which is really what business is all about, and just doing it on a platform that allows you to do it for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Awesome stuff, Vivica. I really sincerely appreciate you being here and hanging out with us and going longer than we originally agreed, so I sincerely appreciate that. And I would love to actually come back and do a class on the business page somewhere down the road, so we'll hook up and maybe set that up if you're interested.
Yeah, let me show so people, let me at least show you where that is.
Okay.
Your business page is, so you click on companies, and once you click on companies, you just can, I went one step too far. When you click on companies, you can add a company here, and then you can create your company page. And so your company page is different from your LinkedIn profile, which is fine. Some people want to keep their LinkedIn profile really private, but grow as many followers as they can to their company profile. And
awesome.
No, it's very Facebook-y, right?
Yeah. No, that's great. Great stuff. Thank you so much. For everybody that just joined us today, we'll have the recording up along with the PowerPoint presentation. You can get with the loan professional that sent you here to get a copy of that. And Vivica, I sincerely appreciate you and your expertise in showing us the basis of LinkedIn. And man, I'd love to do another class with you someday.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions that we didn't answer for some reason, go to the Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/agent mastermind. And again, Vivica, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it with all my heart, and look forward to getting to know you a little better. And everybody else, have a great day. Have a great hunting season if you're going hunting. And we will see you right here next week on the Agent Mastermind. Everybody be safe. Bye-bye.